Her silence isn't rejection. It's a test. You're sitting alone. The last message she sent was 2 days ago. No response since. You replay the last moment you were with her. How she smiled a little longer, leaned in a little closer. You felt it. You knew she cared. So why is she silent now? Your mind says she's losing interest, but your gut is screaming something deeper. What if her silence isn't rejection but a test? What if her distance isn't punishment and but a signal? And what if your reaction right now will either destroy her attraction or make it unshakable? This video is for every man who's ever asked, why is she ignoring me if she said she cared? You're about to learn why women withdraw when they love you, and exactly what you must do, not for manipulation, but for mastery of self, presence, and attraction. If this message hits deep, support this channel. Not just for me, but for the next man sitting in that same silence, wondering if she loves him or not, while you're obsessing over her lack of response, wondering if you said something wrong, replaying every moment like a movie on repeat. She's in her own world, feeling, watching, sensing. A woman doesn't just disconnect randomly. She feels everything, your energy shift, your growing insecurity, the neediness creeping beneath your words. And when that happens, when you start depending on her validation to feel strong, she instinctively pulls back. Not to hurt you, not to manipulate you. Most men break at this point. They panic, they react, they text faster, call more, post stories, hoping she'll notice. They let fear drive their next move. But every time you act from fear, you prove to her that you're not who she hoped you'd be. She's not ignoring you because she hates you. She's testing to see if the strength she thought she saw in you was real, or just performance. She wants to know, do you crumble when she retreats? Does your energy stay steady when hers withdraws? That silence isn't empty space. It's the battlefield of attraction. The man who wins isn't the one chasing her attention. He's the one who doesn't need it. So stop chasing, stop asking why, stop replaying conversations. Instead, double down on building your power. Hit the gym. Tighten your schedule. Master your time. Focus on your mission. Because women aren't drawn to your words. They're drawn to your gravitational pull. The quieter you become, the louder your energy speaks. When she ignores you, hold the line. When she doesn't validate you, validate yourself. The minute she sees that your peace doesn't depend on her presence, her curiosity will ignite. That's how nature works. What runs away becomes desirable. What clings becomes repelling. Every time you prove that you can stand still when she moves, you become the man she thought you were at the beginning. The one who had purpose beyond her, peace within chaos, and confidence that didn't rely on her approval. Speak less. Move with intention. Let your absence echo louder than your neediness ever could. While she's pulling away, watching silently from a distance, what she's really doing is measuring your gravity, not your words, not your effort, but your stability. If she sends short replies and you overextend trying to get a reaction, you lose. If she gets distant and you flutter with concern, you lose. If she tests your boundaries and you backpedal to stay liked, you lose. Not because she wants to destroy you, but because she wants to see what you're made of. A man who needs constant validation is not someone she can feel safe around. A man who panics when she doesn't respond is not emotionally trustworthy. She needs to know, if a storm hits, are your feet still on the ground? When she spirals, do you stand tall? When she tests you, do you flinch? Being the wall isn't about being cold. It's about being composed, rooted, unshakable. Women are emotional by nature, not because they're weak, but because they feel deeply, intensely, quickly. But they won't surrender to a man who collapses the moment their emotions change. When she says, I need space, don't beg. Respect it. Double down on your purpose. Stay grounded. Stay centered. The wall isn't built by ignoring her. It's built by refusing to be controlled by her emotions. Emotional self-control is power. breathing instead of panicking, observing instead of obsessing, responding instead of reacting. That's what separates boys from men. That's what makes her feel soul safe. She doesn't want you to be indifferent. She wants you to be inevitable. So ask yourself, do you react every time she shifts? Or do you anchor yourself so deeply that her tests reveal your strength? Be the wall. Let her storms crash against you, and watch her come back, changed. While her emotions may come in waves, unexpected, overwhelming, unfiltered. Your role isn't to become another storm. Your role is to become her anchor. Her chaos doesn't need correction. It needs containment. Not with force, not with control, but with presence. Real presence. The kind that doesn't ask her to explain, doesn't fear the fire, but absorbs it without flinching. You want her respect? Stop reacting to her storms. Stop trying to fix her mood. Stop treating every emotional wave like a personal attack. The moment she senses that her feelings can dismantle you, she loses trust. Not in you, but in your ability to hold space for what's real. She needs to feel something stronger than her emotional pull. And that's not logic. It's not words. It's your unbothered stillness. Most people think strength is aggression. It's not. Real strength is restraint. Knowing when not to speak, not to text, not to explain yourself just because she's distant. When she's spiraling, the weak man tries to convince her out of it. The strong man listens, not to respond, but to observe, not to correct her, but to contain her. Because he understands, the chaos isn't about him. It's about her needing to feel something solid. Your calm isn't just for you. It's the ground she walks on emotionally. When that ground shakes, she questions everything. So how do you stay calm? Discipline your reactions. Practice emotional patience. Shift from needing control to offering clarity. Stop trying to prove you're worthy. Start embodying it. She's not asking for perfection. She's searching for energy. Energy that doesn't shift with hers, that doesn't panic when it's not validated. Ask yourself, do you escalate when she breaks down? Do you speak just to fix her feelings? Do you feel like a victim of her emotions, or do you become the one person she can't shake no matter how chaotic she gets? Be the calm, not in comfort, in command. You feel it, that punch in the gut, that silence that hits harder than any argument. Your instinct is to chase, to explain, to fix it. But the moment you run after her in desperation, you confirm the one thing she's hoping not to see, that your confidence was conditional on her approval. You were never supposed to trap her. You were supposed to be the kind of man who could let her go and still hold space for her to return. A woman doesn't need a man who clings. She needs a man who chooses her without needing her. When she says she needs time, give it. When she says she's unsure, let her be. When she creates distance, hold yours with dignity, not as a tactic, but as truth. Your life doesn't pause when someone pulls away. Your identity isn't tied to how she feels about you today. Your worth doesn't decrease because she doesn't reply. Let her walk, not because you don't care, but because you care enough not to lose yourself chasing someone else's clarity. Get sharper. Get stronger. Get deeper into your path. Let your silence become a statement. I don't chase love. I attract it. But I never beg for it. Let her walk, because it's in the space you create that her mind will start to wander back. She'll remember the way you didn't panic, didn't fold, didn't lower your value to win her presence. That memory will haunt her in all the right ways. That's when she starts to wonder, did I leave a man or just a phase? Leave the door open, but don't stand waiting. Build a life so powerful that even if she never comes back, you've still won. Because you don't lose the woman by letting her go. You lose her when your need for her overshadows your need to be who you were born to become. So let her walk. And while she's walking, keep building the life that will either bring her back better or prepare you for someone who never has to leave to feel your worth. While she's drifting away, creating distance, not replying fast enough, or not showing the same warmth, the average man thinks it's a call to action, to fix, to rush, to overcompensate. But it's not. It's a call to pause, to stand still. Because when she runs, she's not looking to be chased. She's looking to see if you stay grounded. Most men break here. Their minds spiral. They reach out more, fill the silence with fear, try to prove themselves again, thinking effort equals worth. But the woman doesn't want proof. She wants presence, and presence can only be felt in stillness, not in performance. When she runs, you're being watched. For your reaction, your consistency, your strength. If your whole energy starts shifting because she's not around, you're not leading. You're following her emotional path. That kills her respect. She wants to feel that your identity is rooted in something bigger than her approval. The man who stays calm, stays consistent, stays focused when she distances. That man doesn't trigger fear. He triggers curiosity. She starts to wonder, why didn't you react? Why didn't you chase? Why didn't you panic? And that wondering is the seed of renewed attraction. Stillness requires self-trust, a connection to something deeper than affection. Stillness means you don't mirror her inconsistency. You don't follow her withdrawal. You stay centered. You stay real. How do you master stillness? Through discipline, structure, purpose, choosing mission over panic. Every time you feel the urge to respond emotionally to her distance, redirect. Train, build, reflect, grow, not for her, but for yourself. Because that stillness is not weakness. It's a signal, energy, the very thing that sets you apart. Ask yourself, who are you when no one's watching? Who are you when the one you care about pulls away? Do you collapse or do you rise even higher? Stand still, not in arrogance, in assurance, not in silence, in strength. Let her run. And when she looks back, let her see a man unmoved, unbothered, and completely unshakable. While she's testing your presence through silence, distance, hesitation, or emotional inconsistency, what she's really doing is measuring whether your identity is firm or fabricated. The men who fail are always the ones trying to negotiate desire, explain their worth, or convince her they're good enough through emotional reaction. But she doesn't feel desire through comfort. She feels it through contrast, through tension, through your ability to remain untouchable when her energy changes. If you want to be unforgettable, stop managing her perception. Start managing your standard. Every time she pulls back and you chase, you tell her your value depends on her attention. Once she feels that imbalance, the attraction fades. A woman doesn't stay because you say all the right things. She stays because you radiate power that doesn't flinch. Because your silence teaches her more than any explanation ever could. When she pulls away and you start asking why instead of rising, you become forgettable. But when you let go without chasing, elevate without begging, lead yourself instead of following her chaos, you become unforgettable. Because she knows most men crumble when the woman becomes uncertain. But you're not most men. You're a category of your own. She can't shake you because you've made peace with being alone. You've married your mission. You've built your life in such a way that any woman who enters it feels lucky, not entitled. That's the separation. A man she can shake is one who loses himself when she walks away. But a man she can't shake becomes more dangerous, more focused, more magnetic in her absence. She'll feel it, while checking if you've posted, wondering why you're not chasing, questioning if she misread your power. That's when the shift happens. Her emotional testing becomes emotional confusion because you broke the cycle she's used to. She's used to men folding, panicking, needing her more than they need their own path. But when you show her, without saying a word, that you're built different, she can't ignore it. So how do you become that man? Discipline your body. Sharpen your mind. Cut every excuse you've used to stay average. Make silence your training ground. Use rejection as fuel. Turn her pulling away into momentum. Invest every minute you use to waste texting her into skill. Every ounce of energy you gave to worry, convert into progress. While she's wondering why you didn't chase, you'll be too busy building a life she doesn't deserve access to anymore, because you don't prove your high value by talking about it. You prove it by becoming undeniable, by creating a reality where she has to level up just to stand beside you. That's when you reverse the entire dynamic. That's when she starts questioning her silence. That's when her curiosity turns into obsession. And that's when you no longer need her to choose you, because you've already chosen the best version of yourself. The version no woman can replace, because you weren't shaped by attention. You were forged in solitude, and nothing hits harder than the man who needed no one to become everything.